Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today, and thank you very much for joining me in Springwatch. Springwatch is 2 weeks back to back of all of the beautiful things that are in our spring catalogue and in our celebration catalogue, and also running in conjunction with the online class on my blog. And today's project, I'm calling this a fold over box. I don't know what you'd call it. It's just really cute, but it's the paper that folds over, which is what's given it its name. And this one is hidden down with magnets. And inside it's a cute little box. Now this is one that you would maybe put sweetie treats in or something like that, or candies, something, but it's lovely. And I could see a line of these being on a table for maybe wedding favours or party favours, something like that. But it's very sweet, but I'm going to show you how to make it. It's not as complicated as it looks, and it uses actually remarkably a small piece of paper. And the paper measures 5.5 by 6 inches, which is 15 by 14 centimetres, and you need to have the long side, you need the 6-inch side at the top, so the 15 centimetre side at the top to do the first set of score lines, which come at 3/4 of an inch, 2 3/4 of an inch, 3.5 inches, and 5.5 inches. And in metric, you would score yours at 2 centimetres, 7, 9 and 14 centimetres. Then you turn it around so you've got the 5.5 inch side, the 14 centimetre side, and you score it again at 3/4 of an inch, and then at 4.5 inches. And again, the metric version of that would be 2 centimetres and 11.5 centimetres. So that is the scoring of the box, and we actually don't score the designer series paper, just because I find it easier not to. So fold on all the score lines, and this is Natural's white cardstock, which is so beautiful, and it's a lovely thick card, great for boxes and cards, and it's got this sort of natural fleck in it, which obviously about the fact that it's Natural's, which is lovely, very pretty. So you will see that you've got one side that is the same as the middle, and then another one that is slightly smaller, and then you've got a top that is longer and one that is shorter. Basically it's this one, it's the short, narrow little rectangle that we need to get rid of. Where's my scissors? So I'm going to take that off because we just don't need it. So as I said before, it's the one it's the shorter on the horizontal and the narrower on the width. And then these other ones, we're just going to trim up these, because that's what's going to fold and help to close to form the base. And we need some sticky strip. Well, I hope the sticky strip is going to play today. So, sorry, it's along this side where you've nipped out that bit at the bottom. It's along there, and keep it close to the score line. This is very much in the style of a milk carton box. So that's the back, and that is going to feed through, so we keep that one at the back, and we know that this is the front, so I want some sticky strip on this part here. And if you were going to put something heavy in your box, you would probably put sticky strip on all of the bits to just, you know, give it that little bit of extra strength to keep it closed together. But I'm not putting anything in my box at the moment, so just the one piece is fine. Peel off that backing and fold over and close, and then fold these sides in and the back in, and then fold that up. Now the top, much like any other milk carton, you just push it in at the sides and it will close quite happily. So we're just going to pop that to one side, because the designer series paper, you kind of fold it round and wrap it, and as you can, if you see, it folds all the way round and then comes back and finishes over the top, and that's what's closing this box. So I'm going to round the corners. Which one do I want as my top? Do I want the blue? I'll have this one, I think. So just round the corners. And that, I know, is going to be the last bit that wraps all the way around. So before we start sticking it down, and I haven't scored it because there's going to be sort of millimetre fractions difference depending on how thick your bone folder is as to how much there's going to be millimetre differences, so it's easier actually just to fold it and use your fingers. Keep folding it up, because everybody's bone folders, they score a deeper groove or a lesser groove. Here in the UK there are quite a few scoring apparatus, I suppose you'd call it, and they all score in different ways. I have to say I'm very much a simply scored girl, having used many of the others, but depending on which scoring tool you've got, you will score a deeper groove, and therefore it will make a difference. You will get a very, a fraction difference here, so it's easier just to fold it round. Okay, so that's the fold all worked. So we know that that is, where's my back? There's the back. So that's all going to fit beautifully, and it will go all the way round. Oopsie daisy. So what we start doing now is put the sticky strip on these pieces, but only up to about this point, just, not sticky strip, sorry, snell. Only up to this part, because just in case there's a little bit of manipulation you need to do, it's easier to do it afterwards. So lay your first piece on, and it goes nice and tight to the top. If it doesn't want to keep sticking to me. First piece on, and then the bottom round, and then the back, and that will fold over nicely. So we can come back in and pop a little bit of extra sticky strip, snail even, on there, which you probably can't see. So I'm just popping it onto that section there. There we go, and I just need to put some magnets in. And actually I was talking to one of my girls recently who's just joined me, and she pointed out that if you're giving these sorts of things to children, maybe don't use magnets, which I hadn't thought, because I don't really give my projects to my boys very often. And I thought that was a very good tip. So yeah, if you're giving these to children, maybe use a different sort of closure, maybe some Velcro dots or something. So I've just used my small punch because I want to make this not too strong. These are my neodymium magnets, and if I didn't put that, they would just be so strong that I would just never, they would constantly rip. So mini glue dot onto the back of one, and I'm going to position that where I want it to be. So that's where I want it on the top. I'm going to take one of these little circles and put it over the top as well. Take the spare magnet, put that on, and a glue dot onto the back of that. And then when I come to close it, and press down fairly firmly, that will remain where I want it to be. So I'm just going to put my fingers inside just to make sure it's really well stuck. Another mini glue dot on the back of this one, this little circle, put that over the top, and then that means that the close is not so strong that you're going to rip, the magnets aren't going to rip off. You know, they're not going to rip the paper. Oh, I can't get my teeth in. Right, a little bit of stamping just to finish off, because I want to use this beautiful Petite Pears stamp set, which I love it. And I've taken this very ornate one, which is the same one over here, and some Island Indigo ink. Now that's the colour that's in the background. The colours of this are Tangerine Tango, Gumball Green, Smoky Slate, Daffodil Delight, and Island Indigo. Actually, you know what? I will do that 3 times. So those are the colours that are in the watercolour Wonder paper. Beautiful. Punch all of those out. I can grab my glue dots just because I find them easier to pick up and position these. I probably would have lifted these up slightly normally, but I'm just being a bit lazy today. I blame the cold. It's a lingerer. And then I've got, do you know what, I prefer them lifted up. Here we go, just lift it up a little bit. Candy dots in the matching colours, so the Island Indigo is from the Regals collection. One in the centre of each of those three. And that is my fold over box, which is very sweet. And it, oh, didn't put enough snail on there. And it's it's a pretty good size. You could probably fit a chocolate bar in there. So, anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to speak to you soon. Bye.